All right, welcome back to another quick tutorial in Maya. This one I'm going to show you what a turbulence field is. And because I have these particles already, I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like to start. I created a turbulence field and just sort of attached it to a particle bed that I created with a picture. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. I have to kind of bust this one out fast because everyone thinks I snuck away from the table. They think I'm going out back to get some wood for the fire, and really I'm just up here working on particles. So we're having a good Thanksgiving over here today, and I'm going to bust this out for you real quick so you can have some more stuff to play around with over the weekend, because I'm going to take about a week off. So here's the last tutorial, and we're going to go through this fast, okay? So this is a particle tutorial, and here's what I have. And let me show you what it looks like in a comp. I'm going to hide Maya. Well, I'm not going to hide Maya. I'm going to call up After Effects, if After Effects will pop up there. And here I just dropped it into a comp in After Effects, and so you can see just kind of what it looks like. It's just some particles. They're kind of floating around there doing their thing, and I got a picture that I'm zooming in on. So it's a quick, simple composite just to show you a concept. So there you have it. All right, let's go back into Maya. Let's find Maya. I'm going to start from scratch, and we're going to do this real quick. First of all, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just start a new scene. I'll save this one. Save scene. I'll hit continue. All right. So let's do a new scene. And in this case, let's just create a very simple plane to start right there. And plane's just going to have about one grid there. And let's see, if I was in Photoshop, I might be able to launch Photoshop and show you kind of what I created in Photoshop. In order to get your particles attached to a picture, you're going to first have to have like a black and white image, basically. And if you create a black and white image, then you'll be able to attach those particles to the white of the image. So let's see here. We've got Maya on top. I'm going to come in here and do a file, and I'm going to open a picture that I have on my desktop that we're going to be working with here. And as you can see, this is basically it. It's just a black and white, standard black and white default over here, and I just created some text over a black background. Now the particles are going to stick to the white right here. And if you had you can watch the other two tutorials. If you have some gradation, then your particles will have some fall off. So just be aware of that. But in this case, we want them to stick to this. So that's what I'm working with. So I saved this out as a 1024 by 1024 .tga file, and this one's just called Deep Fried Egg to Black. Okay, so that's all I did. Pretty easy. I'm going to quit Photoshop now, and there we go. And let's take a look now at just what we're doing here. I want to attach that picture to this plane, but not yet. First, what I want to do is I want to just deselect the plane. I might go into my shaded mode and pull it up just a hair. All right, and then I want to come in here and make sure you're in your dynamics menu set and choose some particles. And in this case, I want to emit from object. So I'm set at 24 frames, and you'll see they go really fast. All right, so let's adjust that first by dropping these up to say like 500. All right, I'm gonna put that one at 500. So now we have a 500 timeline. Let's take a look. All right, that's great. Let's go in here and change the color of these particles. So we're on particles. You can see where it's Lambert 1. I'll just mess around with this Lambert 1. Sometimes you should, create like a whole new Lambert or shader, but for this tutorial, since it's quick, I'm just going to choose a color like that. And well, no, I'm not, because I don't want to change the color of this plane necessarily. So I'll just do an undo, and we'll do an undo. All right, so we will do it the old-fashioned way. You want to come up into your window and open up your Hypershade. Hypershade open, grab a Lambert, and I'm going to make the color of this one something in here. All right, so And we'll grab our particles, right click, come down to existing material, go to Lambert 2, and now we can see those particles. All right, that's great. That's what we want, but you'll notice that they're emanating from all over. Let's change that real quick. We want to come into our, let's see here, let's come into our actual emitter. And you'll notice you have a whole bunch of choices here. For now, what we're interested in is basic emitter attributes. And instead of Omni, let's switch that to Surface. All right, now go back to Surface, and here we go. Boom, they're coming up. Now let's go back into our shape. Or actually, let's go to our emitter attributes right now and give these a couple more zeros. I'm going to give it a couple more zeros, drop it in, and we're probably good to go. Okay, so we have lots of particles coming up. That's great. Let's even increase it by maybe one more zero. So I'll add one more in there, and here we go. All right, so we have our particles, everything's looking good. Now, while your particles are chosen up here, what you want to do is come down and attach, enable a texture rate, which is that picture. We're going to go and open up that picture by clicking on your square checkerboard there, File, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to that picture. I'm going to open it up. And what we'll do is go back to the beginning and play your animation again, and you'll see that they kind of stick to those letters. So that's cool. That's what we want. And there it is. Now, come back on that. Let's adjust that a little further. What we might want to do is look at our particle, some various particle qualities. Let's get some up here to work with. All right, and let's choose some of those particles like that. And now we can look and see, you know, just basically what some different characteristics are. Speed, I might want to slow that down to 0.125 just to give them a little bit less growth. And let's see how those look. All right, so they're growing kind of slow, and that's good. I think what I want to do is make them grow even slower, so I'll go like 0.050, and let me set that, and here, let's try it out. Okay, great. Now that we got that set, what we want to do is come in, take a look, and we're going to set an initial starting rate. And I may want to play them out a little bit more here so they get kind of a little deeper. And now that I have this, I can go ahead and take the solver and say, I want to set this as my starting point, so they should look like this when we start. So I'm going to just go ahead and click there. And now, when I move back, that's the starting point, so they always start kind of floating up from there. And that's good. Okay, so we're almost there. Let's do something really quick here. Let's look on the back side. Let's maybe bring this back a little bit and maybe squish it down. Let's bring our scale down a little bit. All right, and take another look at the top, and here it is. Okay, so we have particles and they're playing. Now, the fun part, while these particles are selected, go ahead and choose a field, and in this case, let's just attach standard turbulence at default. All right, now that field is attached and we can work with some of these properties over here. So I'm going to move over here and start this out again. Take a look at it, and you can see where it's just starting to kind of do its thing on default. That looks kind of cool. So remember, you can use your magnitude. You can drop that all the way up and see what it does. All right, it just sort of makes it smash in faster. You can use your attenuation controls. Let's pull that attenuation up. Okay, so that makes it stay coherent for a little while longer. All right, so play around with all these controls in here and get to a point that you like. And once you're happy with your particles, okay, once you're happy with everything in your particle bed there, what you can do is you can just come over to this plane and delete it. All right, but once you delete it, you can no longer have your emitter controls. Okay, you lose your emitter controls. I'm going to do an undo for a second here, and let's take a look at this. I have my plane selected, and let's see here. I should be able to find, well, we may have to go to our turbulent field. Let's go to our outliner real quick. Let's go to Window, Outliner. And in the outliner, all right, here's our particle emitter. It's attached to the NURBS plane. And we have this property that we can get to when we have this plane. But once you are set with your particles and you delete this plane right here, I'm going to go ahead and click on here, activate that plane. Once you do that, I'm going to hit delete, activate the plane and hit delete. And you'll notice that now you have your particles, and you do have properties to work with your particle shape, but we no longer have our emitter qualities. So that's something to be aware of, and that's really important in this whole exercise. So watch the other two tutorials on the smoke and dust, and then this one is basically just giving you a few more pointers about, how to, if you lose that emitter too soon, then you don't have any control over it later on. So anyway, just thought I'd let you know, and I better get back to the table. Hope you guys had a good time with this tutorial, and happy Thanksgiving to all. And as always, read a book and learn something, okay? All right, thanks for watching.